All right, so let's take a look at the build for our Haida. So you've got yourself main armaments mod 1 for your torpedoes and guns and stuff. Engine room protection for steering. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Main battery mod 2, and then finally propulsion. Okay, so I'm looking at rudder shift time for maneuverability. 3.79 is fine, so there's no need to go for steering gears. That's the only other consideration for a destroyer. Why main battery in the third slot here instead of, most people I would assume would go for aiming systems or the smoke generator mod for longer duration of that crawling smoke?
Mostly just inexperience. That was the recommended one, so I put it there.
That's
okay.
The recommended one? In game or from the Google Doc?
In game and Google when I built it.
I'm pretty sure the Google one has the smoke generator mod. I would be very, very surprised.
Yeah, I would think so too, because that's the gimmick of the Haida, and you absolutely want to buff that gimmick and make it even better. Leo, if the music is too loud, let me know, and the rest of you guys too. Please let me know, and I can try to adjust accordingly. That's the only real thing to mention there. The turret traverse makes sense if you're planning on knife fighting a lot. If you're in ranked, I can totally see you wanting those turrets to turn that much quicker. And then you've got a 21-point captain, but you've only used 20 skill points on it. Is this a... Well, yeah, it's going to be a standard. Why haven't you used...
I only have a 20-point captain.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. 20 out of 20. Okay, fair enough. So you've got preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability, concealment. That's what I call the core build for destroyers. You've got priority target, demolition expert, main battery, and then adrenaline rush. Okay. Is this captain on any other ship, destroyer-wise?
No, but I will be trying to go through the Hiruguma line to get the Vampire too.
Right, okay, so eventually you'll get the Vamp Deuce. Fair, which is tier 10 version of Haida. Same kind of gimmicks.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. One, I don't like priority target. For destroyer, if you're spotted, you're going to be shot at. Pretty much, all the time. So I don't feel that you need priority target that much. Also, I don't know that you need demolition expert either. It's nice to get that extra 1% chance of fires on targets, but I think you've got some better choices here.
Yeah, you definitely want the consumables enhancement for both Haida and Vampire.
So, let's talk about this. There's a few things to consider, Ken. Consumable specialist to get reload time for your consumables, specifically your smoke, of course, your engine boost.
Yeah, that was going to be my last point.
Okay.
When I get to 20.
So this is a huge skill. Consumables enhancements is nice because you get extra uptime for your 10% for smoke and your hydro and your engine. So why wouldn't you want 10% more of all of this? You know what I mean? That's a nice consideration. And it stacks well with the smoke generator modification. So those work really well. Mike, you just got to what I wanted to talk about too. Radiolocation. Radiolocation in a Haida, perfect. You are the best destroyer hunting destroyer in the game, especially in ranked battles at tier 7. But tier for tier, you are the best, right? So why wouldn't you want radiolocation to know where the nearest enemy ship is? If it's a destroyer, you can just literally chase it down and destroy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it for ranked on the Haida.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't take it on the Vampire.
Vampire could work.
Okay.
Action time is not duration of consumable, I thought. Only time below out of smoke. You're wrong, Victor. So let me show you real quick, okay? Here, let me mouse over here. Action time 117.8. Let me go ahead and go to smoke consumables. This gives an extra 10%. What's the action time now? 129.6.
He's right. Action time is the time you emit the smoke. But
right.
Because it has crawling smoke, that means you're emitting the smoke for most of the time, and the actual duration of each puff on these Commonwealth destroyers is very low.
Correct. Correct. The smoke screen dispersion time is 10 seconds. Each puff lasts for 10 seconds, but the overall consumable is running for 117.8, or if you buff the action time, now it's running for 129.6 seconds. Now,
That
let me show
makes
you.
the skill so good for crawling smoke
Yes.
cruisers and destroyers.
Now, add this other consumable for 20% extra. Look at your duration now, 186 seconds. Who wouldn't
It's
like 3
ridiculous.
minutes of smoke? 3 minutes versus just under 2 minutes. You see the difference there, Ken?
Yep.
It's pretty nice. Now, if you're going to go for consumables enhancements, though, keep in mind, you're going to have to give something up, either last stand, or a 3-point skill, or whatever. Now,
Or the
here's
radio
what
location.
or radio location. Here's how I would spec my Haida. I think. It's been a while since I played Haida. But I might drop Mabas. 5% to main battery isn't that big of a deal. If you've already got Adrenaline Rush, you're pretty much covered in that department. The extra charge of consumables is very handy. Ranked, you can make the argument it's less handy because of the fact that it's ranked and battles end that much quicker. So in that case, if you're doing a ranked only build, yes, Grunty?
For Haida, you don't need the superintendent, because if you look at the duration and the cooldown of the smokes and you add it up, it's very, very unlikely you would actually be able to use a 4th charge if you had one.
That's right. Especially if you're going to spec into consumables enhancements and the extra
Right.
here. So, and that's the point I'm trying to make, right? You have to decide which of those you care about most. Do you want, and this isn't just an extra charge of smoke, it's also extra charge of engine boost and hydro. So you have to keep
Which
that in
you
mind
also
too.
probably don't get to use because of how the action time and cooldowns work. The speed
Right.
boost more likely, the hydro probably not.
Right. So anyways, what I would probably do in a ranked battle situation is I would probably do something like this and then maybe take Grease the Gears just to get my turrets on target that much quicker. And I might go for the smoke here so that my smoke is emitting at 186 seconds. 3 minutes of crawling smoke. Dude,
That
You can
makes
go in-
perfect sense.
you go into the cap, you cap it. If there's a destroyer nearby, you pop your hydro and you detect whatever ship at 3.5 kilometer away from you, you push them out of the cap. And then you get said cap. And meanwhile, while
You
that's
can
happening, you're
also-
gunning down.
You can also use the smoke or the hydro mod in the 2nd slot as well.
I was just going to get to that. So you can use the engine boost or the hydro mod in slot 2. That might be a better choice, especially because, Ken, you said this is one of the ships that you would say is your favorite. I would pick one of these two, whichever consumable you feel like you want active longer, and have that available to you. Why not, right?
Makes sense.
Yep.
I would
So-
probably use the speed boost, to be honest, because the hydro duration already covers the full smoke duration. And if you take the hydro mod, your smoke and the hydro are pretty much out of sync.
Your hydro lasts 30 seconds longer than smoke right now with the smoke mod. Your engine boost only lasts 132 seconds, so I would agree with Grunty. You would want to go with this. You want to try to get these consumables as close together as possible, because in theory, you're going to use all these consumables at once. Maybe not engine boost and smoke at the same time, but you're probably going to use these consumables around the same time because you're going to go into danger, you're going to want to move quicker, etc., etc. Why choose Survivability Expert Panzer? Great question. Survivability Expert is free hit points for your ship. 350 HP at each tier. You multiply that by 7. That's 21 plus carry the 5, whatever it is. You get the idea. That's a lot of extra hit points for your ship for free. And what that does is it makes it harder for you to die. In ranked battles in a destroyer, the last thing you want to do is die. So, if it's harder for you to die, it's better. Plain and simple. No survivability expert for torp boats? Ooh, electric. You might have just made Grunty's brain explode.
Well, mine exploded too.
Okay. Always run survivability expert is one of the best choices at a 3-point skill for a destroyer. Adrenaline rush is the other one, but this should be a given. This is what I call my core build. Every destroyer I build in this game pretty much has these 4 skills. Okay, going down this line.
The reason for survivability expert is it actually allows you to eat a torpedo and live.
Which then buffs your adrenaline rush.
Right.
So
You want
with
torpedo
me only
reload
having
and
a
radar.
20-point captain right now. Should Grease the Gears be the last one?
Yes.
Probably.
Personally, I
If
feel like
you
this is your
really
least
hate-
effective.
If you really hate the turret traverse, you could maybe take the consumable specialist as the last one. But
Yeah.
But consumable specialist is the better skill.
Yep. You want your Let's drop this for a second. Now, your bread and butter is your smoke. So you can see the cooldown is 80 seconds right now. Let's put this on. What's the cooldown? 74. 6 seconds sooner that you can use your smoke. Have you ever encountered an enemy and really wish you had smoked available and you only had like 5 seconds to go till it was up? Well, that would fix it. Plus flag. Flag would make it even better. 70.3. Yeah, so almost shaves almost 10 seconds off of that. Kind of nice.
Yeah, consumable specialist is really good now on a lot of destroyers since they changed it.
Right. Ginga Monkey, hey, I'm right there with you, okay? Top Gun soundtrack is amazing. Both of them.
Quick question, since you said you wanted to maybe get the Vampire 2, should we go a Vampire 2 build?
What's different about a Vamp Deuce versus what we see right here?
Well, to be honest with you, no, because we need to move it along so we can get replays in.
Thank you.
Okay, fair.
Signal flags. You're going into ranked battles without protection. Why are you not wearing a condom, essentially? Why aren't you preventing yourself from detonating here?
I had run out of flags at that point in time.
Buy
And I
them.
didn't want to spend the credits to buy more.
Buy them. It's ranked battles. Do you want to win in ranked?
Yes.
Then buy them.
Yeah,
Like,
just
this is...
think about of all the potential other flags you have, you wasted if you detonate.
Correct. This, in my opinion, is a non-negotiable. Now, if this is random battles and you don't care if it's co-op, if it's a scenario. By the way, you can't detonate in scenarios, so don't run Juliet Charlie in scenarios. But if you don't care about winning, then by all means, run without Juliet Charlie. But if you want to win, you need to put the one thing on that prevents you from basically blowing up and being an embarrassment for your team. So buy them. Okay? Everything else, as Grunty says, is secondary. You could very well go in with no other flags, and if you had this, I would be fine. I would say you're good. Yes, no detonation and operations electric. News to you? Cool, you learned something. Other ones, you've got fire and flood, anti-fire, good. No heal because you don't have a heal. You've got the hydro uptime and smoke uptime. Speed. Why are you running secondaries?
Haida has a secondary gun.
It's got 1.
I have gotten 2 kills with the secondaries.
Okay. The other one that's very handy is the consumables one. I would definitely run consumables. And then, of course, we talked about the anti-death. Those are the 2 that I think are lacking here. As Splint said, let's get to the replay. Build viewer, go. Okay. Now, you said there's no death pick in this one, so we're going to just kind of speed things up a little bit till you make contact with the enemy. Ish. Why are you going to C first instead of B cap?
Is I wanted to go to the closer one first.
Okay. Notice your
that's,
ACAT is also going there.
Yeah, I would always leave that cap to the cruiser.
Leave it to the cruiser or leave it to a teammate that's too chicken to go in a B and a destroyer, and that's the ACAT. So you going to C right now means that you're not in position to contest the B cap. Now, if there's an enemy ship that's got radar, Indianapolis, Belfast, this is the correct play. 100% correct play. I don't see those on the enemy team.
Like, you're the stealthiest destroyer. Like, you can just sit in the B cap and try to just get it by sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment the enemy destroyer steps on, you're gonna spot it and your team hopefully shoots it, or if it smokes, you might be able to even push it with your smoke and hydro.
Exactly, exactly. The B cap is
But that
yours.
only
All you
really
have to do is
works
sit in
if
there.
you were there first.
Correct. Correct. Okay, and Incarnate Panorama, thanks for the follow. Love the name. Welcome aboard. Make sure you type ! ticket to get in for our giveaway. Snowballing your driveway, Wolf. Nice. Now, another big thing about the Haida, doesn't she have single fire torpedoes? Yes, there they are. This is not good though. Boise probably has hydro active. If not, he will have it active soon. That's 4-kilometer range. So this is the part where I'd be going full speed away from the Boise. I would be hitting F3 right now on the Boise, trying to encourage your teammates to shoot him. And, oh, wait. There's a Huron right there. You need to stop and smoke now. Oh, you're lucky the Huron didn't go in. You're very lucky the Huron didn't go in. Still, he could torpedo. Why haven't you torpedoed the Huron, by the way?
I was expecting him to continue past the island.
Okay.
Why would he?
He wants to spot whatever's in B just as much as you want to spot him. If you're planning on shooting, you need to smoke first before you shoot.
If you shoot here and smoke, I think the Huron is dark.
And that's part of the problem. Now, I will say, this is what the Haida does best. It grabs the cap, and just through sheer fear of the ship, it basically encourages people or discourages people from pushing. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, so Ken, what's your thinking right now? You've moved forward towards the ACAT. What's your thinking?
I just wanted to keep ships spotted at this point and trying
Okay.
to figure out what the Boise was doing there.
So, I'm
the
glad you...
Huron was around there. I kind of wanted to like keep him because I know I have a concealment advantage over him. Try and make it so we see him first. He hopefully shoots at someone, and then I can open up on him.
And I want to say, I like that you mentioned the Boise because that's the one piece that by moving forward, you lost track on the Boise. So you didn't know what he was going to do. So I don't like that you moved forward. Here, though, you're continuing to be moved off of the cap, but you are utilizing that 5.7 kilometer concealment to your max advantage. Mayhem is continuing to push in and can't do jack against you.
He's spotted by the ACAT too, unless the ACAT is smoked, so...
And the ACAT got himself detected because... ACAT. I wouldn't fire until the ACAT dies. By the way, get out of his firing arc because they're going to hit you while shooting at him. He's going to turn right into you and get you... Yeah, he died.
You could have actually smoked here and maybe saved the ACAT.
You could have... Yeah, he could have smoked the ACAT, but I kind of agree with... He made that stupid decision. That being said, it's Ring. You want to win. Big O, are you still here? Look at them torpedoes on the Boise. Now, Boise's got a super heal. Oh, don't shoot. Don't shoot. What are you... Why? You got greedy, sir.
Yeah, that was never going to work.
You got a flood on him, so you thought you would set him on fire and then burn him out, right?
I think that's what I was thinking. I was also kind of wanting to push towards the cruiser that was over there on that side.
Okay, so time out for a second. You said push towards the cruiser that's on the other side, the Nueve de Julio. I want to point your attention to your hydroacoustic search. How long is your hydro up for?
It's down now.
It is down now. You are pushing with your most important consumable besides your smoke down. You don't want this. Huron also has hydro, right? 4 kilometers. If Huron pushes into your smoke right now, you can't do anything about it. Also, you left your smoke. Always keep yourself under 12 kilometers if you're going to shoot.
I wouldn't even shoot. I would just leave that smoke and go back to the spotting and see what the Huron is doing.
Shooting is okay, but I would want to get into a kiting away position. You've got an island right in front of you, which I think is the bigger problem. You have a lot fewer room to run, a lot less room to run, you know? Huron is in the B cap. Yep. Now's the part where you really wish you had hydro available. Now, here's the other thing too. You're going to move forward and try to spot the Huron. Okay. Now, in doing so, you get yourself detected. You saw 4 people targeting you. Again, party target doesn't matter. If you're spotted, they're going to target you and they're going to shoot you. So, all right, well, you got the Huron out of the cap. I would be using engine boost here, just to make you harder to shoot at you. Should the Huron like YOLO at you? He didn't. But if the Huron YOLO'd at you, you want to be able to maneuver quicker. This is really good trigger discipline, though. Really good trigger discipline. Actually, I think I'm going to call that the title of your replay.
Really? Yeah. I mean, he messed it up on the Boise, like...
Yeah. But this is a good setup. The enemy team is forced to push into you now, even though you're even on teams. Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. Also, engine boost to get out of range. You shot. Now you're guaranteed detected for 20 seconds. Although you're 3.3 kilometers in range, so okay. Now, the Gneisenau now, if you look at his guns, him spotting you, he's immediately going to turn to get his guns to bear on you. And the best way for him to do that is for him to turn to his left. So you shooting there actually negated probably 1 torpedo hit. Also, you didn't use your engine boost once when that would have been helpful.
Why are we shooting again?
Shooting's fine here.
I always forget about my engine boost. I need to be better at that.
I don't.
So
like, your team had this. You're wasting a smoke again, kind of.
no, I think the smoke is fine because you get the Gneisenau out. Now what you do is you full speed into the B cap and murderize the Huron. Murderize the Huron and then just douse yourself in smoke again.
I think that was the plan here. And
Yeah.
I think it's too slow. By the time he's there and can fight the Huron, the smoke's gonna be out.
A minute? Maybe. We'll see. So in general, Ken, I would look at it this way. If your smoke is on cooldown, your engine boost is on. Just try to get in the habit of doing that.
Okay.
Because the engine boost gives you so much more flexibility in terms of maneuvering, repositioning, etc., etc. I think that really does help you a lot.
And the other problem is, like, with using the smoke to shoot the Gneisenau, they see now that the smoke is coming to the B cap. Like, you're giving away the position what you're doing.
Yeah, well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. You're right. that Huron so far has been very cautious, very afraid to engage you. So that smoke could actually discourage the Huron from sticking around. That's not a bad thing right now. While your Synops is broadside to a Nagato and Nelson, I might add. Oof.
Smoke screen set.
Come on, mouse. Where are you, mouse? Ah, Nelson, good times. This song is very perfect, absolutely. In the end. How's she? Never mind, he's dead. I was gonna say he's low. Sinop also low, sitting broadside, and detected Duke of Yuck nowhere near to help. So this is, guys, this is the true ranked experience. Battleship players that don't know what to do on your team. Battleship players that absolutely know what to do on the enemy team.
Engine boost deactivated.
All right, Ken. What's going through your mind at this point?
At this point, I just wanted to keep people spotted and wait for the Huron, who I know knows where I am because I'm RPF located. So I'm trying to figure out where he is.
Okay.
To get my guns in line.
You absolutely need to get this Nelson out of here. I would actually turn towards the Nelson, slow crawl, and then smoke. Because it's available. You need to get this Huron dead, and then you need to get this Nelson dead. And then you need to get this Nagato dead, and then you need to get the Nueve de Julio dead, because your team just wants you to lose. Sorry to say. Don't fire your torpedoes yet. Nelson's going to see you. He's going to know you're a threat. He's going to immediately bow into your threat, and all your torpedoes will miss. Oh, look, he's bowing in.
I think the single launch torpedoes are such a trap too. Like,
oh, absolutely they are.
I don't think I would have ever fired single fire torpedoes once in that game. I just take the spread.
Yep. All right. Backing off. Shooting the Gato is fine here. Hydro on, or when, so you know when the Nelson is pushing you. Plus, it lasts so damn long. Who cares?
You actually win this on one cap. I would just run.
Could also run south. I would be concerned about him being detected by a random plane, but that's not a bad idea. Especially since Nueve de Julio is now pushing as well. Turn your anti-off, by the way.
Tell your battleship to shoot the cruiser.
I mean...
that's the game.
Look at where the Duke of Yuck is. Do you really expect him to shoot the cruiser? Alright, let's take a look at your result screens. 11k regular XP, 65,500 damage, 1 kill. Not bad, Ken. I think the big story is you had 2 base captures and 11 base decaps. That got you a ton of experience. You are first place by over 900 base XP. That's sexy as hell. And there's the Duke of Yuck at the bottom. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything to look at specifically on these particular ships, but hopefully I gave you some feedback as to, you know, kind of like the way you're working through things. Obviously, we talked about your commander build, but also like when to use your consumables, when not to, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was very helpful.
So let's get the replay render going. Now let's look at the map top-down view. You're not patient enough for Battleship. You just get annoyed with being farmed down. Electric, I'm the same way, dude. I'm not patient either. I want cruisers or destroyers. Destroyers win games. So, early on, go to the B cap, get the B cap, exert your dominance over the enemy team, force them to come to you when they don't want to come to you because they're already down on points. laugh at the
It's
fact that
actually
nobody else
kinda
can outsmart you.
ridiculous that despite being so late to the B cap, they still get it because the enemy team didn't even try.
And they've got 2 destroyers as well. That's the funny part. And then your ACAT. Why did your ACAT even bother shooting? Is such a... I understand if he's radared.
I think the ACAT shot the enemy destroyer because he didn't trust the battleships to shoot and kill it.
He shot the Mayhem. And there he is right there shooting the Mayhem. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he goes down. Ouch. You don't have Vermont yet? You'll get there. Dutch, what do you mean 40-second reload for the Vermont? Dutch, that is true. The Duke of Yuck running away was benefit. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say. Look at the Synop. Why is a Synop gonna die broadside? Why is an Ashitaka gonna charge into the B cap and die? I mean, there are so many questions. Duke of Yuck, okay, he's almost dead. He runs away. I can see that now. I can see that now. By the way, you, Ken, as the destroyer, is the thing that deters the enemy from pushing. So you got to think about what about your position, torpedoes, armaments, whatever, did not deter the enemy from pushing, right?
I mean, the Haida doesn't have the best torpedoes.
No.
They are not a huge threat.
But
it definitely stops the enemy destroyer from going in because the destroyer doesn't want to fight the Haida.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm slightly.
I mean, just
confused
'cause
as to
it
what
doesn't
the
have
run
the
was
best-
doing the whole time.
You know, just because it doesn't have the best torpedoes, most battleship players just don't want to eat any to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get hit with that flood and you DCP it, and then you get hit with the fire and you just burn to death.
Right.
Like, it's just avoid torpedoes.
Okay, well, any other questions, Ken? I think we kind of covered this replay quite well. In chat, if you've got any other questions, please ask, please. Did not give much XP. I like the decision of the Zara. Yeah, the Zara going up on the flank is fine. Hey, Destawaits. Ken?
I think it's
Go ahead.
nice to have what I view as like my best game in this get critiqued like this because it shows how it can get better.
Yeah, of course. And I like how you said critiqued and not trashed, because we're not trashing your replay. You had a good game, dude. I mean, 900 base XP over second place. Yeah, we're not trashing that. But yeah, exactly. It's a fun... The nice thing about this game is there's just so many different variables you don't take into account, you know?
Yeah.
Blue Falcon, thank you much. All right, well, let's get out of this then.